if you're not treated equally, freedom is rather hollow. And so I always grew up believing, as Dr. King said, one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. And that creed is, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Equality is the centerpiece of American life. You go to a sporting event and you see that talent, merit, is what guides people. Equality is a central premise of American life. And that is not something we need to teach people. We know in our genes that equality is important. And the thing that always confounded me was the fact that after I began this journey of trying to make sure that every one of our citizens is treated equally, I could never get the support of the people who were being discriminated against the most, people of Chinese descent. Lowell High School discrimination, one of the most elite K through 12 institutions in California. Berkeley, rampant discrimination against people of Asian descent, particularly Chinese. And so when I started taking this fight on, I had people of Mexican descent calling me names. I had black people calling me names. And my best ally on the board was David Lee, a very successful American of Chinese descent. And he and I would meet often. And I told him what I had uncovered. And I said, why the hell can I get any support from the Chinese community? He said, it's not our culture. It's not our culture. We just stay quiet about all this. And I said, yeah, and you let them beat the hell out of me, but you're staying quiet. And it's clear to me that, it was clear to me that if I can't get the support and the enthusiasm and the actions of my fellow Californians who are of Asian descent, those who are being discriminated against, it's going to be hard to win this battle. Because what I was being told is that there is no problem. And yet, as I met with the chancellors, comments were made that were just outright bigoted. They're dull, meaning Asians. They study, meaning Asians. They're not well-rounded. It just sounds bigoted for me to even repeat to you what they were saying. But folks, that's discrimination. It might be born of benevolence because they're trying to benefit somebody else, but it's still discrimination. And this is the lesson that we did not learn in the 60s when the Civil Rights Act passed. Nobody has a monopoly on civil rights, and yet we sort of think of it as something that black people were given. Civil rights are for everybody. And I thought, deep in my soul, this is going to be a hard one. Folks, there's no way in the world that we should have won this, to be honest with you. Think about it. when a legislative body takes action, that's generally a done deal. And it's rare, if ever, that the people grab the pitchforks and say, no, this is not going to stand. But that's what happened here. And it's truly extraordinary. Truly extraordinary. In this state that is regarded as a deep blue state, emerging from the loins of this state are people like John Carlson and Linda and Brett and Skip and all of the others who say, we'll do our part. And we'll put the legislature in its place. We'll tell them who runs this joint. And that's exactly what happened here. 21 years ago, John and I embarked, and Brett was involved, on the effort to implant I-200 into the foundation of the great state of Washington. I have a lot of memories about this state. My first 2 years in school were spent in Bremerton, Washington. I never tell anybody about that. Not that I'm timid about that, but I didn't want to appear to be pandering to anybody. But this is a great state. And it deserves better, in many respects, politically, than it's getting, to be candid with you. For their return, they're not going away. Because they have a different foundational belief, set of beliefs, about what it means to be truly an American. I don't even say Asian American anymore, African American, term that I hate. We need to get rid of that hyphen.
Yes.
And this is something of which the founders would be very pleased. Many of you I had not even met until tonight, but Yvonne and Brenda and others, I know you were involved, and believe me, we're very grateful as Americans for what you did. Reflect on this, folks. This is truly astounding. A legislative body was overturned by a vote of the people that emerged from the leadership of people who are not often involved in political activities. Just nurse on that for a while. That is extraordinary. And it reaffirms, John, that not only were the founders right, but we were right. Because equality is something that we all sense, and we know how important it is to this nation. And I have no doubt that Washington State would not be a state of high technology that it really is if people didn't have a belief that they would have an equal opportunity to pursue happiness as they see it. We wouldn't have all these extraordinary accomplishments in states like this. Equity would not yield that kind of result, but equality does. And I'm just thrilled to be among you. I'm just thrilled to parachute in and bask in the glow of what everyone in this room has done. It's our finest hour as fellow countrymen. Thank you very much.